The worst are the flying roaches, though. Like, you go to hit it and thinking you miss and it just flies towards you. That's it. You lost all battle. You lost all grounds. You're out of the house. You're gone.
It's crazy because if you change the insect to a butterfly, it ain't nothing. It's the fact that I find the roach so disgusting that if it touches me, I might as well be dead. Like, so I feel like if it's flying at me, it's the nastiest thing I could ever deal with because it's gonna touch me. And it's like, in reality, it ain't that serious, you know?
Well, for our next topics, ladies and gentlemen, overcoming fears. There's many ways to overcome fears, and then there's the way that I think it's best. Tony's approach, or the Caballo's approach. We all have fears. I think Doe, one of your fears is heights, right?
Yeah, I'm scared of heights.
What do you think is the best way to overcome those?
I've been on, I think I don't know about overcoming. I've gone on roller coasters and I've been okay. You know what I mean? I'll still be scared of heights. What I am scared of is like a cliff just there and then thousands of feet down, a bridge and someone is sitting on like the brick part and their legs are over, and that shit scares me. Like, that type of stuff makes me very anxious. My brother loved to do shit like that, and it would just make me so anxious. So like, yeah, going on a roof and looking down, scary. So like if niggas, so like you remember if in The Last of Us, that plank of wood going across the building, that shit would be very scary for me to do.
Yeah, I've never thought of myself as a person who has had like a fear of heights, but there have been a few situations in my life where I've been near the edge and felt extreme anxiety. And then I'm like, okay, maybe it's not a fear of heights, but it's like maybe being in maybe knowing I could fall to my death at a moment's notice is actually what I'm afraid of. Like, because being on a roller coaster doesn't bother me. Like, I feel relatively safe on a roller coaster, right? Like, I'm all strapped in, all this stuff. I don't think anything's going to go wrong. But like one night we were at this hotel partying and stuff. And one of the people we were with was like, yo, let's go to the roof. And we all went to the roof. The roof was supposed to be locked, but it was open. We went up. This was not a vibe. This roof was not a place to chill. It was like a scene from Final Destination waiting to happen. Like, and it was like, there weren't even walls on this roof. Like, it was like a little curb. I'm like, someone's going to trip over that curb and just fall 12 stories and die. Like, and people were like looking off the edge and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, tripping. I walked a little bit close and I felt anxious. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get to the center of this roof and just chill. Like, yeah. At some point I was like, yo, y'all can stay here. If y'all fall, I don't even want to see this shit. Yeah. I'm getting out of here. Like,
so it's more of the anxious part that creates the fear, I would assume then.
I mean, I've also seen somebody jump from a building and die, and that was also... So I've seen what happens. It's fucked. It's so fucked. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, for me, as a kid, I was afraid of the dark. So it was weird, too, because the way I guess I overcame it was just forcing myself to sleep in the dark, forcing myself to walk around the house in the dark, just kind of like get over it. And that fear came from my piece of shit uncles waiting for me to lay down in bed, just jump out of the closet with fucking mask on and shit, scaring the shit out of me as a kid. Like, that comes from them. You know what I mean? So like, then growing up, obviously getting over that, heights became a fear. And I think, honestly, the best way to do it is just jump out of a plane a couple times, get used to the sense of the fall, I guess. I think if you just do it multiple times or you do something a couple times, you'll build this confidence up that, you know what, I am not afraid of heights anymore. And I don't know. And I think that It's all mental for sure, right? But
I climbed up a tree once.
you
And then
fell.
I couldn't get down. I was so scared. I was so scared. I got on the big ass branch, and yo, this shit was only like 6 or 5 feet in the air, but I was mortified. I was like, I was petrified, bro. I was like 6 or 7 years old.
What's your fear, Pooch? Yeah, I don't think it's height, right?
I don't really have. I'm scared of a lot of things, I guess. Like if I see a dog in the street, I've never been a person who's been like mad, petrified of dogs. There's people like that are like, ah! But when I see a dog, I'm cautious. I'm like, I don't know if this dog's gonna do anything crazy. Like if I see a dog in the street, I don't want that dog to see me. And when I was younger, I had bigger fears of dogs. I remember there was this corner. My house was landlocked by dogs. Like when I moved to Florida, right? So I had one area. The easiest place to go to my house through was this area where there was a dog out on the yard every single day, a big ass Rottweiler on a chain, and you would be walking and then the dog will just start sprinting at you, and the only thing stopping it would be the chain, bro. And that shit used to scare me like every single day. I remember my first day of school, I saw the dog, so I went mad wide, and then Flat, right? Flat was with me, right? Flat had been living on this block. He was like, yo, Pooch. Like he was trying to get my attention, and I was just so fixated on the dog right in front of me that I didn't even peep. There's 2 massive Rottweilers to my left on the other side of the street. So there were these dogs there that every day you would walk by, every day they would try to hop the fence. So like, yo, you were like in this one corner, there's this dog trying to get at you. So you're like walking in the street, but then these 2 Rottweilers are now trying to jump the fence right here. And that shit was so scary to me. And I could go all the way around the block to come to my crib the other way, but there was like a chow that would be out there also trying to hop a fence. Jesus. That's what I mean by like my crib was like landlocked. And the only way I could like get to my house if I wanted to avoid all dogs is to like cut into somebody's backyard to get into an alley and then jump the fence into my parents' yard and shit. And I'm like, this is terrible. Like that, and I'm not even afraid of dogs. So I can only imagine people that really have a fear of a dog. I was scared of how aggressive these dogs were being. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was scared of pit bulls for a long time for that reason. Just everybody in New York makes their pits so aggressive that my uncle used to have a really aggressive pit bull called Blackjack, and he used to chase me around the house, and he knew how to climb a ladder. The dog could climb a ladder.
That's hilarious. So it was just pit bulls, not just dogs, just pit bulls.
Pit bulls and German shepherds. I'm like nervous around those dogs.
And I mean, those are fears that maybe the Tony way is not the best way for Pooch or you to overcome your dog fears at that age. They can let the dog chase you, let the dog bite you. Like, could you imagine?
I can't wait to your son. Let the dog bite you.
Yeah, right. How is that
you
a
said
viable
this is
excuse?
your way. What is this?
For regular people, not for my son.
For regular people.
For people who don't matter in my life.
I think there are certain fears, and I'm not a psychologist by any means, so I could be telling you.
Also, I am not a psychologist either.
I could be giving you horrible advice, but like, I think for certain fears, like I don't know, a fear of there's people that are like scared of spiders or something, right? Even though largely spiders are harmless, they're just afraid of spiders, or people are afraid of, I don't know, any number of things. I would imagine that exposing yourself to that thing you're afraid of will help you deal with that fear instead of like avoiding those things at all costs. me being afraid of a dog, I'm not actually afraid of a dog. I'm seeing a thing that could kill me, and I don't want to get killed. So maybe I'm afraid to die is really my fear in that situation. I don't think exposure is a good, like, just surround yourself by incredibly aggressive and vicious animals to get over your fear. It's like, nah, you're really just putting me in danger. That doesn't really sound like a good idea. But yeah, like my wife has a tremendous fear of cockroaches, like tremendous.
I forgot about that.
And yeah, the other day I had a solid snake of a cockroach in this house. He kept hiding and popping out in different places, like trying to assassinate us. We had like that big ass hurricane or whatever, or like there was this crazy storm the other day, and whenever that happens, there'll be like insects and shit that'll try to get to like dry areas. So you'll end up with like some roaches and stuff. Anytime there's storms and shit, I'll be putting roach sprays on the, like, anywhere that roaches could get in. I'll be finding dead roaches.
Good
but
shit.
I had my wife sprayed this roach, and then it flew off, and it kept like going to different places around the house until
roach.
I think the bird spray, the roach spray finally had like got into its system, and we found it dead somewhere. But I was like, if you didn't get this thing with that roach spray, it was gonna kill us. Like, this thing had our number. One day there was two roaches got in my crib, bro. It was terrible. And I saw a roach, and I was so focused on the roach in front of me that I was like looking at it, and I was coming up ready to hit it, and then a roach landed on me from above. I said, "Oh my god,
no!"
Yo, that shit was like, it was a tactic, yo. They drew my
I'm gonna
attention.
draw them in.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
The worst
yo.
are the flying roaches, though. Like, you go to hit it and thinking you miss, and it just flies towards you. That's it. You lost all battle. You lost all grounds. You're out of the house. You're gone. That happened to me a couple times.
It's crazy because if you change the insect to a butterfly, it ain't nothing. It's the fact that I find the roach so disgusting that if it touches me, I might as well be dead. Like, so I feel like if it's flying at me, it's the nastiest thing I could ever deal with because it's gonna touch me. And it's like, in reality, it ain't that serious, you know?
So,
Imagine cockroaches on ice. Big people in big cockroach costumes on the ice.
That's what we need to take my wife to. Exposure for that shit.
Think I go to the supermarket or the pet supermarket or whatever, Pooch, buy a whole bunch of roaches. Come, hey, what's up, Lisi? Bam, just dump it all on
bro.
her.
Somebody
That
tried
would
to
be evil, bro.
Yeah.
Lisi
Somebody tried
wouldn't
to
talk
tell
to
me
Good.
that they saved a rat the other day. I'm like, bitch, the rat? The things we get exterminators for? It's like the thing we exterminate. She's like, yeah, I saved a rat and its babies. I was like, she's over here
New York?
down south.
That's why like the other day y'all were talking about the orca attacks on boats and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody in the chat was like, oh yeah, because all these years we've been killing these orcas and all this stuff, and almost it sounded like they were saying like,
It's our fault.
you know, we've been messing them up for so long, now they're getting revenge on us. We shouldn't feel no type of way about it. But I'm like, I don't even care about animals. I don't give a damn about no orca. That orca could go fuck himself. Like, I don't, why ain't no I take a boat out one day all innocent and the orca tries to kill me. I haven't been killing no orcas. Like, what is this shit?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Also, I know one fear of Pucho that he didn't say.
Good one. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All
It
sorts
bothers
of
me.
fungi.
It bothers me less now.
Yeah?
Maybe because of exposure. Seasonally, these big ass mushrooms will start growing in my yard, and I gotta go and like, you know, get them out of my yard and shit. So I gotta like kick them off and throw them out and stuff. But yeah, for a long period of time, it was a particular video of watching fungus grow into mushrooms and all types of nasty looking shit. But it was like on a time lapse, so it was happening like really fast. It'd be like a little flower would just fucking turn into these gnarly shrooms, and it just gave me the heebie-jeebies watching that shit.
We found this out one night. I think my brother was taking my dog for a walk with Pucho or something like that. And then Pucho comes back in the house and he's like, nah, I can't fuck with this nigga. And all I see is my brother walking up with this. He pulled it out of the ground.
They were massive. He had it like that thick. It was like these big. It was like the Super Mario Brothers movie. It had these big ass shrooms.
This nigga Pucho's like, nah, I'm gonna punch you, Michael. I'm gonna punch you. He's like, yo, don't bring that shit next to me.
It's like getting touched by roaches to me. It's just nasty. I don't want that shit.
That's the same night he put the video of the time
My
lapse
brother
too, right?
tossed them, and he's like, all right, I tossed them.
Nah,
he goes inside and immediately starts looking for videos of mush.
But he was also on some fiend shit too. He was like, let me pluck those, pull them to the side. I'm going to Google them and see if we can get high off of them. Like, he was like,
that's
he was
right.
like, let me see if these are magic mushrooms. Like he was fucking going on to his like fucking drug websites, or he's like he was like posting pictures like, will this mushroom get me high? And people are like, nah. Like, he was like, fuck. Like, he tossed the shrooms. Like,
Michael is a character, bro. That man is a character.
Yo, when the video came on, Pucho was like, nah, I'm leaving. He got in his car.
No, he stayed there for the whole entirety of the episode.
I think he was
I
about to-
bounced.
You
I was
did?
like, fuck that.
I remember
I'm
he
not
was tearing
subjected
up,
to
bro.
this
This man was tearing up and had like the biggest goosebumps. And I'm just looking at him like, yo, this kid's weird, dude. Like, how's this bothering you? Not knowing he had a fear, but anyways.